Uncharted territory, folks. European football group stages with Glasses United. Now we're going to Greece. Hello, my name is Damien, I'm Night Tracking Football Manager, and welcome back to Glasses United. And we are going to Greece, or possibly hosting Olympiacos. I haven't actually checked whether it's home or away. Whoops. And after that, the Pepe Reyes Charity Shield match against Europa. So a good test to see if we might be able to threaten them this year. They did just spaff away £1.5 million, so we're not sure that that's the case. But one thing that was asked in the comments, John asked what the record transfer is in this league. So let's go looking. I imagine it's probably that one. But record modern day. Is it going to players? No. Is it even in there financially? I don't look for records very often. Transfers? There's no transfer records. If I go in there, sort by price, we'll do it this way. It'll be slow, but we'll get there. So it's 1.5 rising to 1.8 for Andrew Misbah this year. Last year it was 1.1, 600 grand, 125 grand, 165 grand. So yeah, that is by some margin the record signing, Andrew Misbah. Also the record sale of Sean Galliano, £1.1 million to Sporting. Something, it didn't occur to me. I mean, I don't understand why Europa have sold him. Not for 1.1, not even close to worth it. But that's going to make them weaker. A lot weaker when it comes to the league, because I reckon, well, I don't understand how they're going to put an 11 out during the league, because homegrown status, Toby Wilson, Michael Daly. That's it. Under 23s, they've got plenty of under 23s, so that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be playing children. All through the league season, they're going to be playing kids. Because all of these players, unless the game is cheating, they can play 6 of these players at any time, of all of these. So they might fall apart. I mean, they might not, don't get me wrong. They might. We'll be interested to see when the league season comes round what kind of team they're putting out. Because if it's violating those rules, then it's rude. Anyway, not a lot has happened since the last time we saw us. Nothing transfer-wise, nothing fixture-wise. But obviously a couple of friendlies. A 0-0 draw with Mazfez and Zerez Deportivo. We beat 4-3. There was some international news. We've played 2 matches of the group stages. A 5-4 defeat away to Cyprus. This one was ridiculous. Because we were 4-1 up. We were 4-1 up, or 4-2 up just at half-time. And we were better than them. And then the second half, they came out and we didn't. And it's very annoying. But obviously a really good sign. 21 shots, 12 on target, XG of 3.15. Against Cyprus, away, is promising. We then played Slovenia at home and beat them 2-0. That was 2 goals from Snaith and Daly. The forwards didn't do much this game. James Few, the forward who is Gibraltarian nowadays, who used to be the Englishman that Europa have up front, he's quite good. There's a reason he keeps tearing us apart in the league. It's because he's quite good. Yeah, 6'4", jumping reach and pace and finishing and composure. We'd like one of those. So that puts us in the competitions. There it is. I mean, 2 games played, so plenty of time to think about it. But we've got to finish above Lithuania. We're currently better than Slovenia. And Cyprus have drawn with Lithuania. So surely there's a good chance of getting out of this group. And if we can get ourselves up to Nations League B, that will be quite an achievement and it will help for national ranking. It has dipped off a bit recently, but it is now record 142nd. So next we've got to take on Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Vanuatu, and Mauritania to get into the 130s. Yeah. So There's work to be done still. We're 14 seasons deep, and there's still plenty of work to be done. But right now, that work is not getting embarrassed by Olympiacos. So, Moreno will be in goal, with Panagi, Sithole, Green, and Korosevsky along the back four. Howe and Holmes in the middle, Stevens and Caetano on the wings, Woods and Ice Peru are up front. I think. No. Woods in the middle instead of Howe, and Emmanuel Williams up top. And then those two the other way around. I think that's what we're going with. That's what we're going with. What I just said, but with those changes. Sithole and Green were registered into the squad, and they are now our best two centre-halves. Centre-mid. Centre-halves, yes. Liam Green wants 4. You can have 44, is that any good? Trevor Sithole can have 29. Yeah, let's do it. I realise I've selected players because it was picked for the friendly. I've selected like 5 subs that aren't in the squad, but that's a good bench. I'm happy with that bench. Carry on from the last match. I have faith and love and charity. I don't know how this is going to go. I am slightly interested that every time it gets to the pre-match tactical briefing, it always says I should be putting Trey Hammond in goal instead of Moreno. That header's just onto the top from Skip. I thought Moreno was the better keeper of the two, but the assistant manager obviously rates Trey Hammond better. Now, obviously, he has made that one massive ricket. But I'm trying to be better at not completely writing a goalkeeper off for one terrible mistake. But he will sit on the bench for a bit longer yet. We've had 8 shots, 3 on target. Olympiacos have had 1 and it missed. Chris Kavanagh is the referee, so once again, an English referee. Are there any other referees in the world? Anywhere? Like, Holmes back to Green. Lifted forward, Williams is offside, I think, but it's headed down by the defender. Panagi picks it up. Woods is in front of him, as Peru is in front of him. Lifted forward again, this was out wide to Stevens, brings it under control. Deep cross towards Caetano, heads it back across to Ice Peru. What a beautiful goal that is. Caetano with the sense of place to head it back down to the forward. And Ice Peru with what's barely more than a tap-in. Dundee United, Timmy O'Neill. That might have been behind my face, but Dundee United scorer was genuinely called Timmy O'Neill, which is fantastic. But they've gone 1-0 up on Total Network Solutions. And yes, I know they're not called that anymore, but it's funny. Goal kick for Olympiacos. Lifted long. Well won by Sithole. Very difficult, that name. It just is. Skip. If it's something like Saitole or something, that would be easier. Or Saithol. But I bet it's not. Headed down by that same man. I might just call him Trevor, just so I don't get blocked by YouTube's algorithm. Trevor with the ball to Green. Holmes. Lifted out wide to Stevens again. The cross is on. There's 3 in. Oh, he's just run it into his man. But the clearance deflects into Stevens and turns into a reasonable cross. Holmes to Stevens. There's now 4 in the middle. Get the ball right. Cross is deep. Caetano's under it. And again, he might be tall. He might have jumping reach, but he does have a biscuit tin for a head. So that one goes over. Gorka. Blocked by Korosevsky. Stevens will go rescue it. And there is time and space to start again. And hands up who expected a first half like this against Olympiacos. Stevens just sets off running, gets lunged at by Gorka, but keeps possession. Holmes back to Green. Holmes again. Lifted towards Williams. He's got to take on Barukas, which I thought was something you got on your foot in the swimming pool. No, don't mock names. You'll get in trouble. Holmes lifts it forward to Williams again. This time brings it under. Ice Peru to Caetano. 3 in the middle. He's going to have to pick the ball out now. Back to Panagi. Holmes was in space, but he's on all the way back to Trevor. Here's Holmes to Stevens. Korosevsky to Stevens. We're not particularly wide, you have to say. Woods has a go, and it's a bit of a shot for nothing, really. And it disappears through the boundary fence. But 1-0 in, half a game in, they've had 2 shots, and they both missed. Outstretched arms. Very good first half. Keep it up. Honestly, this is a little bit scary. I don't really understand. Panagi's throwing to Caetano. Back to Woods. Panagi again. All the way back to Korosevsky, who's the last man, who comes trotting forward, which probably won't be a disaster. Green to Holmes. Korosevsky's wandered off, so there's now no one back. Holmes to Green. Stevens. That's confidence in your teammates, isn't it? Woods to Stevens. Cut back, and it's deflected in off the nasty foot injury. We are looking at the referee for reasons. Was Stevens offside? The tension is... Never mind. Goal disallowed. Barukas' goal doesn't count. Was he off? Really? He's not! Look where his back foot is. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Antonio has a throw-in. Head of the way. Ice Perua back to Panagi. Trevor. All the way back to Moreno. Can we try not to get those back passes on target, please? Not that I'm scared of my 18-year-old goalkeeper, but I'm scared of my 18-year-old goalkeeper. Stevens to Korosevsky. Lifted forward to Woods. That's a lovely ball. Puts one in front of Ice Perua, and he passes it back to the keeper. Oh, we could be absolutely out of sight, couldn't we? We could be absolutely out of sight. Also, the attendance of this match is 1,887. What? Olympiacos, I'm sorry, this is the biggest game in this club's history. 1,887 people have bothered to turn up for it. Even if they reserved a big chunk of a stand for away fans who didn't bother, still, we should have more than 1,800 fans. Stevens. Back to Korosevsky. Short to Williams. Turn and hit it. No. Gives it back to the right back who pounds it into the post and Emmanuel Williams taps it in. Can we call that a 1-2? I think we can call that a 1-2. Korosevsky bounces it off the post to give it to it's like a wall pass from 5-a-side, isn't it? Use the post to give it back to your man. Yeah, it's actually a 1-2-3 because Korosevsky gives it to Williams. Korosevsky then bounces it off the post to give it back to Williams. But with 15 to play, we are 2-0 up and cruising against Olympiacos, who were widely regarded as the best team in this group. Kokas gets done by Panagi and we have possession again. Here comes Trevor. Woods back to Trevor again. There's a through ball on there somewhere, but we're not going for it. That's fine. Holmes lifts it out wide to Stevens. Korosevsky's on the underlap. Underlap. Yeah! Stevens cross to the back stick. Caetano with the header and it's through. What is going on? I mean, Caetano, it's a lovely header, but from their kickoff, the same highlight we've scored again. It's a shame goal difference doesn't really matter in this competition, doesn't it? Hands up in the comments who saw this result coming. By the way, you're lying. Stevens can come off. He's had a very good game. Rickard can play at right wing there. We'll bring off... Well, who do we want to bring on? Let's look at it that way around. Darius Smith can come on for Panagi. Okiowu can come on for Korosevsky. We'll go with those three. Get a bit of sharpness into those three. Who thought we'd be doing that at the end of a game against Olympiacos? Woods to Caetano, to Ice Perua. Williams is in a bit of space. That might be too late, that ball. If not, it was a lovely one. And it is saved and it's a corner. Says he can't believe he's missed. That was a more difficult chance than he gives himself credit for. Holmes to take the corner. Rickard doesn't quite get the flick on. Skip heads it away. Across the back post to Trevor. Just onto the roof. And you have to say, Trevor's been very heavily involved in this game. I think Trevor deserves a goal. If we get a penalty, he's getting it. The game at Tannadice is 3-2 between Dundee United and TNS. You might have heard that I nearly called them Dundee. That would have probably got me in trouble with my Scottish contingent. Caetano hits one and it's floated just over the top. About to go into injury time. 3-0 up on Olympiacos. And I know 14 years have gone by since the world we know and understand, but still, that seems a bit weird. Danilo hacks it away. Oh, that was quick. Okiowu intercepts at the back. Back to Moreno. A minute to play. Trevor back to Moreno again. Lumped out wide. Caetano loses out in the air. How? He's taller than the building. Moreno hacks another one clear, and this one's in front of Caetano. He won't quite get to that either. Skip comes across to deal with it. Kokas is fouled by Smith. It's not ideal. There's 30 seconds to play. By the time they sort themselves out, there'll be 10 seconds to play. Cross comes in, it's headed on. Moreno goes up to catch it. Safe as houses. I've never understood that phrase. And that is that. And it is a cracking, unbelievable, genuinely, literally unbelievable 3-0 win over Olympiacos. I don't understand. Dundee United beat Total Network Solutions by 3-2. And what a win that is. And by the way, here's £500,000 for winning it. Thanks for that. Do you remember when that used to matter? It is interesting. I mean, I know there was talk in the pre-release of the game and all the media build-up and everything, media hype, about how leagues would adapt and evolve. But it is fascinating how when we first got college into Europe and we first got Europa into Europe, it was so important to get that money. Scrape a win, get your £500,000 because we need that. And now suddenly, because the league has evolved to that standard, we just don't. £500,000 lovely, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it brings the balance from 3.7 to 4.2. I don't know what to do with that money. And I'm sure no one else in this league does either. Quick look at the Europa and see what's going on up there. Where are they? Let's be having you. Europa FC, they haven't played yet. Why haven't they played yet? Oh, I suppose it hasn't actually happened yet. Press that button and it will happen here. Europa League? There we go. We were the early game. Europa with a 4-0 stuffing of Anderlecht. That is gorgeous. Well done. And you have to say, AGF, never heard of them. Dynamo Kiev, okay, that will be tricky. Europa could get through that group. If both us and Europa get through their group, that's going to be huge. Now, important point to consider, and I looked this up just before I started recording, we have one bit of bad news, and that is that we are replacing our biggest ever season. The year we took Europa really deep in the competition, 3.875 coefficient points. That's what's going to drop off the scale at the end of the season. We've already beaten that. We're now at 4 points. But it's not as big a gain as we'd hope for. If we can both go deep, I don't know if we got, because it was 3 points when I looked before the episode. I don't know if we got half a point each for winning those games. Maybe? I don't know. But like I say, we have to get, well, to get into the Europa League, we have to get 15th in those rankings. We're now currently 34th. We'd have to get up to 29th to start getting buys. And we'd have to start getting to 17th to start getting buys in the Champions League. And like I say, 15th for Europa League positions and second Champions League positions and things like that. And you have to wonder if we would ever be given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 qualifying spaces. Would we ever get 5 qualifying spaces? Bearing in mind there's only 12 teams in our league. I don't know. Anyway, that's a bit of random rambling, but we're not allowed more coaches. Why? Why are we not allowed more? What else are we going to do with the money? Ugh. Is there embezzlement going on? Yeah, we'll just make some profit. £4,000,000. Chuck it in. Just like an energy company. We only got £4.2 billion worth of profit this year instead of 4.6, so we're raising our prices. A very angry man. I'll see you for Europa in the Pepe Reyes Charity Shield final. Well then, a few changes for this one, because we are still going to bump into that homegrown player rule. It's not terrible, but it's annoying. Trey Hammond will go in goal because the assistant manager keeps nagging me and go on, then why not? Smith, Vincent, Green and Korosevsky at the back four, with Holmes and Howe in the middle, Caetano and Stevens on the wings, Williams and Ice Perua up top. And yes, I know that means there's no room in the squad for David Woods. I know. But he's homegrown, he's amazing, he's homegrown, he's homegrown, he's homegrown. He's not, but I mean, Woods isn't going to play right wing, and nor's anyone else. So there's literally nowhere to put him. And it's incredibly annoying, and obviously I am going to have to work around that. But otherwise, the suggested quick pick was Taraj at left back. That ain't going to work. Why is Darius Smith there? We don't want Darius Smith. Oh no, because, yeah. Panagi has picked up a little knock. Nothing serious. Is Richie Blake homegrown? No, he will be at some point. That's the thing, is we have to wait 3 years for someone to become homegrown. Richard, that man is not 18. Look at him. He's 40 if he's a day. You guarantee just below the camera cutoff, there's tattoos, there's a cigarette, possibly weed. Anyway, that team, it is the pointless match, but it is Europa, and we want to test ourselves against them. I want to read through that team sheet in a minute. I want to check to see. In fact, I'm going to do it in front of you guys. So I'm sure you're curious as well. Who's homegrown in that squad? Bender is a 35-year-old German. We all know who Steven Bender is. Also, when did they get Steven Bender? In fact, because that's going to be annoying, we'll go to kickoff, skip that, pause that, and go through their squad. So Bender is a 35-year-old German. Filip Rusnak is Slovakian right back. He is definitely not homegrown. It's going to be annoying because I can do that every time. Steve Pritchard, 18-year-old. So he's playing a kid at centre-half, a left-back at centre-half. So they are obeying the rules. Joe Tomlinson's a 34-year-old left-back. Michael Daly, we know all about Michael Daly. Lee Gordon, yeah, he's quite good, but he can't be homegrown either. Daniel Ward is, we know that. James Few is not. Kyle Ross is not. So Matthew Perez must be. Matthew Perez is, and he's also only 17. Also, he's quite good. He needs to be added to the national pool right away. Oh, he already is. You know what? He's coming into the next national team. Because he looks very, very good. I mean, obviously he's not finished yet, but he's also only 17. Okay, so they are obeying the rules. So, they're playing a way weaker squad than they want to. Including their £1.5 million signing who's on the bench. Right, anyway, let's play some football. Sorry, far too much talking. Also, we're away. I don't know why we're playing this one in Europa FC Stadium, not Glasses. Holmes fires one out the right wing. Stevens to Ice Perua. Key lunges in, but Stevens gets it back. Ice Perua again. Howe to Green. Vincent. Spooned forward. Williams is under it on the volley, just wide. But as we've started, we're all over him. And this is what, I'm sure it was a jokey comment, but someone said in the comments, we want Gibraltarian goalkeepers, not these Americans. And it's like, yeah, but the Gibraltarian goalkeepers are all dreadful. Really poor. The homegrown ones in particular. If you've seen, I can't remember if I've shown you in person setting up a squad. In fact, I'm sure I haven't ever shown you me selecting a squad for the Gibraltar side. But that lad who we put 6 past for St. Joseph's is our best young goalkeeper who's homegrown. And he's awful. Bender lifts the ball forward. Few nods it down. Korosevsky loses out to Ross. And for a minute, I forgot which team it was I was supporting here. That does keep happening when we play Europa. Daly slots one towards Ward. Smith will intercept. Back pass to Hammond. Maybe someone could put a foot through it now. Smith does just that, aiming down the wing for Williams, who brings it under control. And Few hacks it clear. Perez pings it all the way home. Lifted forward by Bender. And Vincent has time and space. Green to Howe. Stevens is out wide and he's probably going to have to come off, isn't he? Look at him. He's giving it a go. Howe. At least he's not one of the homegrowns. Green lifts it forward. Ice Pura nods it down to Williams. Emmanuel Williams dinks it over the keeper. Absolutely gorgeous finish. And we're 1-0 up in Europa. And it has to be said, this is a rotated side for Europa, but I think it's the best they can do with the homegrown rules. I think. And the thing is, I don't want Europa to fall apart. I want us to overtake them, but I want us to do that by being better than them, not them being worse than us, if that makes sense. And I'm worried that the AI is not smart enough to keep these young players. Stevens can come off. Right winger can be Ricard, who's homegrown, maybe? I think he's homegrown. I think that's why I signed him. Yes, he's Welsh and Gibraltarian and English homegrown. Good effort. Which means I can bring on Woods at my leisure. Which I might do in a bit. But not now. But yeah, I don't want Europa to fall apart because we want Europa to continue to be a really good side so they can continue winning coefficient points. And you know, we want to build other clubs up. We don't want to replace each one we build up by them collapsing. And you have to say, if it is a full and fair what, that's apparently a penalty. Misbah's come on. Tomlinson has the pen. I don't really understand that because the ball's long gone for a goal kick by the time the referee blew for anything. Hammond doesn't get there. We're one each now. Joe Tomlinson bags one. What was I talking about before that happened? Yeah, we need to build the nation up. I think that's what I was talking about. And we need 3, 4, 5 teams in Gibraltar to be getting into group stages every single season. Now, I know we're a long way away from that. But even if they're Conference League group stages, that's something. And that's coefficient points, and it's something that's more qualification spaces, more money, etc., etc. Williams twice Perua. Out wide to Rickard. It's a ball behind him, really. Holmes slots one through to Ice Perua, who absolutely panics. I'm tempted to take him off for that. That's dreadful. But that's what I was saying, was if it is a full, fair, true-to-life simulation, I'm going to pause it so I can finish this point, then those players are going to start getting really angry with not playing. And like Misbah, who's only going to be playing maybe 1 week in 4 because he can't fit in the squad otherwise, he's going to be fuming. I'm going to make changes while attacking a corner. I know that's not really natural, but is my technical term for it. Right. Davy Woods can come on for Gary Holmes, and Taraj can have a run out of right back just to get him some fitness. Holmes takes a corner, and it's headed over the top by Green. And that is the thing. Like, we won't have that problem. We will have players who won't play quite as much as they want to, but we won't have any of our good players left out long term. Daly has the corner for Europa, crosses it in deep. Woods heads away. Misbah picks it up. Here's what a record signing can do. A square ball to Snaith. Beautiful. But he's got it back. And that header, I mean, he's 1.5 million quid. We've never even paid close to that. I think our record signing was 400 grand. He goes back and gets it, squares it to Snaith, and then just sets off running. No one picks him up. No one even looks at him. And it's a loop and header over the top of Hammond, who you have to say isn't particularly well placed. I don't mind watching it again because it's actually a gorgeous goal. It's just who's marking him? That's Snaith's man, isn't it? Not Snaith, Smith, sorry. Europa win it, but you have to say there's a lot of luck in that. Did it have Parles all asked for? Yeah, it's Darius Smith at left back, who wouldn't be our normal left back, who just doesn't track him. Honestly, I don't care. It would have been nice to beat them, but we showed that we are at least as good as them. And we don't have to go to extra time because we're playing TNS next week. I didn't really want to go to extra time. Stevens has got a tight thigh. He'll be fine. Terry Lee had a good game for the Rezzies. That's more by luck than judgment, isn't it? Cool. Right. Well, we'll be back. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to come back for those 2 Conference League games because they are right next to each other. In fact, I need to jam a friendly in between them. Oh, God, they're 4 weeks apart. All right, 2 friendlies in between them and 1 there. Who is available? Far Rabat. Go on, then. And then 1 there can be PSG reserves? No, I don't think so. Fuss Rabat. Go on, then we'll play both the Rabats. We'll spend a week in Morocco. It'll be lovely. I feel like that's something I was going to show you, but I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, very quickly. National pool goalkeepers. All the goalkeepers that are available to us. Lewis Webb, we know about. Kasper Kurljevic, he's got old now, but we know about him. Behind him is Albert Mason, who has not yet declared himself to be Gibraltarian. And behind him, Jalen Hankins is 33, doesn't count, is Shea Thompson. It's not that I'm not picking up young goalkeepers, they just don't exist. Connor Eastham is 30. He's only in that squad because everyone else was dead. Chris Watson. He's playing for Hound Dogs. There isn't a good goalkeeper. They don't exist. So, the fact that I'm bringing these Americans in, compare them to... where have they even gone? Why aren't they sorted by position? Trey Hammond, who's 18. And Brian Moreno, who's now 20. Those are the... I mean, if he's going to be Gibraltarian pretty soon, he's going to be backup goalkeeper for Gibraltar very soon. Nationality. 443 more days. No, 287 more days. So end of the season, he's going to be Gibraltarian. And he'll be playing. Anyway, that'll do. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this one, please do like, sub up if you're new, and we'll be back for the TNS and Dundee United games next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.